What's up, fight fans? Your boy P. Welsh here, bringing you UFC Fight Night Burns versus Morales. 4-8 week. I'll say this: I think I got I didn't do too good with the picks because I was thinking of the betting. So I'm not gonna make any excuses, but straight picks this week. Feeling really good about the card. Gonna get back on a nice winning week here. Starting off with women's strawweight: Tisha Pennington versus Luana Pinheiro. 11-4 for Pinheiro, 14-7 for Pennington, 2-3 for Pinheiro last five. Big underdog, 31 years old. Pennington 3-2 in her last five. Big favorite, 35 years old. And yeah, it's looking like Pennington here. I think she'll just get there in the volume. I think sometimes Santos fades late, and I think that, for a big underdog, I think it will be super competitive, right? I think this will go to the scorecard, and however it goes down, it goes down. But I think Pennington just kind of wins with volume and training. I think they're really high on Pinheiro, but like her recent losses are not that, getting finished. Losses to Robertson, clear. Seems like technique is just not there against these upper echelons. Now, is Pennington there? No, I thought she was retired, but to come out there and get a win, I think there's a reason why she's big favorite. I think she'll just kind of get the 29-28 decision that we kind of roll out there here and there. I just think she can win the first two rounds, lose the last one. I don't think this fight gets finished. Yeah, if it does get finished, it might be Pinheiro. So maybe like you like Luana there, if anything, just because she might have a pathway. Just if she gets desperate in the third round and gets So I don't know. I don't really have high confidence in these picks, but we're going with Pennington here to start. Next up, we're in the flyweight division. We got Hung Young Sung Park versus Carlos Hernandez. Park 9-0 versus Hernandez 10-4. And yeah, this one is a flyweight bout. Sung Park 9-0, 2-0 in his debut versus Shannon Ross and Juk Choi. But that was like the final to the road to the UFC. And Shannon Ross might be, yeah. So yeah, I like Hernandez here. I'm kind of big on Hernandez. Big, durable fighter. Just knows how to scrap. Pretty tough. This isn't meant to sound wrong, but I've had bad luck with the Asians on early in the card. I can just think back last week, Lee, Mahashete. I've taken some L's early on. So I like Hernandez here. He's one of those guys that I've picked against, picked with, and yeah, I just think he brings a nice competitive spirit. I think this one goes the distance. I think Hernandez 30-27 maybe even. I think he definitely gets the better of Park. I think he could have some moments, but just like I also could feel like he could really struggle here and there. He maybe start strong and then fade late. Hernandez turns it on 2-3, 29-28. I like Hernandez here. Very close pick 'em fight. And with that being said, I just think the experience. I just can't trust Park, man. Just Hernandez has been in there. Even if you get finished by some of the great guys, like you're still training. You're like, there's a reason the UFC keeps throwing you out there. Twice, three times a year. And he's been active, and I like that a lot for Hernandez. Big, let's go Hernandez here. Moving on, women's strawweight bout: Elise Reed versus Denise Gomes. Gomes 10-3. 4-1 in her last five. Reed 8-4, 3-2 in her last five. Big favorite Gomes here, and yeah, Gomes all day. Gomes every way to Sunday. I'd be just trying to see Gomes KO. I think is probably the most live thing. So maybe if you like, just like I think she does get a finish here. I think there was something like scheduled with the weights where they had to go up a weight class too. So Reed is really like a flyweight fighting in the straw weight, and I think they're fighting up. I want to say I gotta check that 100%. But always check the weigh-ins and around there. And I just think Gomes is just. I just think she's way better. I think she's a legit, talent for the division. And I think she gets the dub here. I think she gets a finish, and she's gonna put that ranking on the line there. Losses to Angela Hill and Look Boom Me by decision, or like those are the people that are gonna. Is Elise Reed gonna out volume Denise Gomes? I don't think so. And worst case scenario, Gomes just goes for the takedown. I think she lands it on the feet. I think it gets TKO. I think she'll like push her back with the pressure, get her along the fence, do some damage, and Reed kind of goes down. I don't know. I just think inside the distance is most comfortable because I don't know if 2, 3. It could be 1, 2. Like, Reed's been finished in every round all over the place. So, been mounted. It could happen at any point. Just makes one mistake. I just like Gomes inside the distance to get the absolute dub here. Let's go, baby. Next up, we got Luana Santos, women's bantamweight bout, 8-2 coming off a loss versus Tanara Lisboa, 7-2 coming off a win. Lisboa not super active recently, 5 fights in a row. Luana Santos 4-1 coming off the loss to Casey O'Neill, which was a thorough thrashing, honestly. It might have been 29-28, but O'Neill freaking came on strong in that fight. I picked Santos. She did not look good. O'Neill pieced her up, and I kind of maybe see something like that going out there. I'm thinking about going on the Lisboa train, just in terms of she hasn't been there in a while, so it's a lot of like you prove it to me. But is she way more talented than the other fighters that Santos has faced? Absolutely. The only fighter with a lot of talent that Santos faced was O'Neill, and she went down. So I'm kind of a little worried there. Agapova can't grapple. Egger, Miller. I mean, she caught Miller. That's a big one. But, that's also a while ago. Are we really going to, sometimes those things happen in the UFC, and you can't really count on those to happen again. That's why I kind of think Lisboa can control the fight there. I think she has submission game as well. I think Santos could try and grapple and find herself in a bad spot. I don't know. This one's a really low confidence pick. I'm kind of going out on a limb for Lisboa here, but I mean, I just have low confidence in Santos after the last, just kind of looking back at those fights and seeing what really happened. 2 of those wins are against fighters that we don't rate very highly, and I just think Lisboa just has a chance. I just think she might be better in striking, and if she can control the distance with the kicks, the punches, I think she can do a lot more damage. We go out on a limb, take Lisboa here. I like a lot of favorites this week. There are a few spots. I think a lot of the big favorites can get finishes this week. I like a lot of the favorites, and I do like a few underdogs here, especially on these close to the pick'em line. So they got 2 of the smaller underdogs early on here. Let's go, baby. Next up, we got the lightweight bout. Jared Flash Gordon. He's Flash Gordon, 20-7 and 1 no contest coming off a loss versus Thiago Moises, 19-8 coming off a win, and a little bit of a reach advantage for Gordon or for Moises, youth advantage for Moises, and I think striking advantage Gordon. I'm having a trouble finding a way to get. I have the. All right, we got to go out for. They're missing a fight here. They don't have DeVille and Matthews after this one. But Gordon, 20-7. The judges don't like Gordon though, but I just think Gordon is way better of a striker than Moises. And if Thiago Moises isn't gonna grapple and initiate that, first off, Gordon's got great takedown defense. Like he stuffed Patty and made him stand up for 3 rounds. Like right. And he was pretty much outstriking Patty at the time, who's arguably like just top contender right now. Of course, nobody's gonna look good against Benoit Saint Denis. Like losses to Trey Ogden and Ludovic Klein. It's like, yo, if you feel like you barely outbox Trey Ogden, I think Gordon's gonna give him a lot of trouble here. It's a big spot. I like Gordon. I'd put him in a bet early with Ruzaboyev. It's very 50-50, but I just think it's not so 50-50. I think he's got a chance to get the win. I don't know if this goes to the decision. I think he could touch the chin, man. I really think Gordon's got some good power for the lightweight. I think Moises is just one of those inconsistent guys. He's just up and down, up and down, up and down. He'll look good against bad guys and look way better against, or really bad against pretty good guys, So all that being said, is I think Gordon's got great takedown defense. I think he'll be a better striker, and I really do think that Gordon gets the dub here. Yeah. So here's the fight that we got to go take you a look at here. We got Anna Matthews versus Yadier Davale. Matthews 7-3, 2-3 in his last 5. Davale 8-0, 5-0 in his last life. So I kind of really like Davale here. So I think Davale by finish KO is very likely to happen. Matthews kind of has a little bit of a, Dennis Bazooka and Jose Delgado getting finished. So I like Yadier Davale to get a finish in that matchup. I don't have much faith in Matthews there, so that's one. I think he's a big favorite going off at -420 right now. So that one's not listed on the UFC's website. I anticipate, yeah, heavy boxing, heavy striking, finish by DeVille. I really think, he's trains Gracie, trains Muay Thai. I think he could be a real problem here. So that's another one I really like is Diwali inside the distance. So let's go, baby. Yeah, I think there's a few spots that I really like this week. We had some success with the Gamba. We got to make sure we get the picks right. So Diwali's the pick. Gordon's the pick here. We'll throw him into some places. I think we got a couple upsets. Not major upsets, but, just in terms of I just in a pick 'em, I like Gordon, man. I'm just gonna go with him. I doubted him against that Patty fight, and he's always impressed me since. Even his loss, the judges don't like him, man. That's another thing. The judges don't like him, so that's why I worry about spending bread on him. But I think he throws hands against Moises and doesn't look close. Let's go, baby. We got another lightweight bout. We got Gabe Green, 11-5, coming off a loss versus Mateus Camilo. Camilo's record is 9-2, lightweight. And yeah, Gabe Green got a TKO loss in his last fight against Brian Battle, 13 seconds in. He fought Gary to unanimous decision and a couple other wins. A little bit of an experience gap in the UFC, but Camilo coming in there with some great power and expectations. 5-0 in his last fight, last five. And yeah, this one I think has violence written all over it. I think it can go either way. I'm gonna pick Camilo here. I think he's probably more confident of a fighter, more clean with it. I just think anytime you get knocked out in under 15 seconds inside the UFC, it's tough to come back from. And yeah, like you see somebody like Blackshear. Okay, name it under 30 seconds, but I mean even like 30 seconds is way more than freaking 13. So I worry about Gabe Green. I think Battle was a welterweight. He freaking welterweighted him down the lightweight, so could have a big strength advantage. I don't know if Camilo will be able to grapple, get some of those submissions out. So maybe look to strike TKO. Could be heavy on that, even though he does have some finishes on his resume. But I think he got a chance here for Camilo KO, just because Gary can't KO Green. That's just Gary though. But Camilo, go for the dub. Let's go, baby. Ooh, one of the most the people's main event here. Featherweight bout. Julian Erosa, 31-12 versus Malaquez Costa, 23-7. Both boys coming off a win. Both guys fighting relatively recently as well. 4 weeks ago for Erosa and 5 weeks ago for Costa. So both guys getting back on the horse pretty quick here. Don't mind it. Don't know who I really favor that more to. Man, Costa's minus 200, but Erosa has looked really good his last few fights. He got clipped by Padilla, which was a little unfortunate, and Caceres, so that's what always I kind of think why Costa's the 200 favorite, because his striking is pretty clean with it. But one thing that should I kind of think scare everybody is I think Costa can get finished by sub here. I just don't know if Erosa is going to be put into positions to get a sub. Like you saw, even with Elkins, my man was just standing in there and throwing down, right? Is Costa going to come in there and shoot a shot against Erosa? He's just going to stand at distance the whole time. I can just anticipate that. Doing a lot of damage. I kind of see him touching the chin a little bit. I think Erosa's a live dog here. This is one that I kind of going back and forth on. And I'm just a big Costa fan. I just think he's got that dog in him. And I just think that's kind of where the fight is won. I think Costa by decision, Costa round 3. I just think is where he kind of just puts the volume on there. Got a nice gas tank. Not invincible by any stretch of the means. And really struggles with the bigger featherweights like Steve Garcia and such. But, man, I'm always a big Costa fan. And I just think, Moises was a guy he struggled. He's another big guy, but he's just been very clean with it. He's just, I don't know, man. This one's tough. I go Costa here, but I could definitely see Erosa winning, man. He's been on a run. Is this like a fade on Erosa now? I don't know. Both guys coming in. Who does it favor? Both guys coming in on shorter camps, right back into it. I think it would always favor the younger fighter at 28 versus Erosa at 35 is, I think, where you see the margin here. So another reason, an extra week. But my guy Erosa did nothing against Elkins, realistically. And Rodriguez, he fought Costa. So one thing that I don't know, man. This one's we'll go Costa here and let's move on. I feel more confident about the later few picks here. Got Dustin Stolfish 16-6 versus Nursterlern Ruzaboyev 35-9-2. Ruzaboyev all day, every day. And probably he's got to get a finish here. I think he's gonna want to look exciting. He really beat Meccano. Nobody. The loss to Buckley. Buckley beat him up, dude. SD Dumas put him out fast. Bro, my guy is massive for the division, dude. 6'5" to cut down the 185. These guys are insane. Ruzaboyev, a little bit older too, 31. Not as much as a prospect, so the weight cut shouldn't be as bad versus Stolskis. Off a couple, win over Barriot. Soriano's looking even better. But man, I just don't think he's built for Ruzaboyev. First round KO for Ruzaboyev could be there. We'll see what the number looks like later in the week. I just think it could be second round too. I think the reach is there, and I just think I just think Ruzaboyev is so good, man. I think the loss to Buckley, I think was at welterweight too, and then he bumped up, dude. You know what I mean? This guy cutting an extra 14 pounds at freaking welterweight, insanity, right? That actually even might have been a middleweight. No, because I don't think Buckley was winning at middleweight then, so, which is insane. So this guy bumped up to 140, after that. Let's see if they got the. Yeah, the guy weighed in at 170. My guy was just gassed, dude. My guy was just gassed. So, yeah, Ruzaboyev KO. My Stolfis makes it a little tough, but I could see my guy getting absolutely cleaned house there. Ruzaboyev, let's go, baby. Next up, we got Sadiq Youssef versus Marion Santos. Youssef 13-4 coming off a loss versus Marion Santos 16-1 coming off a win. Absolute robbery over Francis Marshall from Santos. Youssef, tough run of form here. Lost to Lopes, KO. Lost to Barbosa. Big comeback win. And, yeah, I think this is a Youssef spot all day on a nice rebound. Getting good odds on a really good fighter. I mean, he was starching Barbosa for 2 rounds. He just couldn't finish him. I think Santos is in for a world of hurt here. I think he's way more athletic than Youssef, and I kind of worry about Youssef's heart. That's one reason why I think Santos is live for a win here. But, man, just the experience from Youssef at like this even money against somebody that was just given a win. Let's be honest. When the judges just give people wins, like, it's incredible what the UFC, the officials do to some of these fighters. So, yeah, I just, you could catch Youssef. I think he'll be way more diligent, way more cautious. I think I just think Santos is an explosive athlete, super young. Like, that's where I think he could actually get, Youssef in trouble. Like, Lopes was in that, but Lopes is also freaking huge compared to Santos. I got Youssef here, and if he doesn't come up here, then it's trouble time for him. And I think this is a good kind of rebound spot. I think Youssef, even if it's a decision, I don't know if either of these guys put each other out. I can definitely see Youssef by decision is something I might sprinkle on. But I think Santos is definitely live to win here. Very close fight, going down to the judges' scorecards. And like I said, if certain judges like certain fighters more than others, like I can't believe that, man. That's just. The Marshall Santos fight, just they're just week in and week out, just gifting, just not knowing how to judge fights in a way. It's mind boggling. It's sometimes hard to get your mind over. So that being said, I'm just gonna try and pick who I think the better fighter is, and if the judges don't give him the win, then we just put on the loss. But I like Youssef here. Youssef gets canned, trash canned and starched, then whatever, GG's. But I got a lot of belief in him. I think he comes back strong. And that Barbosa fight was 5 rounds. If that Barbosa fight's 3 rounds, he's a win, right? And everybody, Lopes running through everybody. Go Youssef, baby. The co-main event, light heavyweight bout, Rodolfo Bellato versus Paul Craig. Bellato 12-2-1, coming off a draw in his last fight versus Paul Craig 17-9-1, coming off a loss. Bellato ballooning to a massive favorite here, 29 years old. The draw against Jimmy Crute. Absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal not being able to finish Jimmy Crute. And what is up with Jimmy Crute fighting for draws against Menafield, against Bellato? Glad they moved on from him. Hella worried about Bellato here, laying any money on him. But how can you believe in Paul Craig? But that being, it's like that. What are you gonna think is gonna happen? Like, that's my thing. Is like you can't put away Jimmy Crute. Paul Craig's gonna finish you in the third round. You know what I mean? Paul Craig third round sub. But like you put out Pateria, you put out other guys. I think he has a potential. I think Bellato 1-2, and if not, I think it's Craig by third round submission. Honestly, I think if my guy gasses out and doesn't have anything and gets taken to the ground, I really got to go watch that Jimmy Crute fight and kind of see if there's any opportunities where Paul Craig could sneak in there. My only worry is the good thing is Craig's going up to 205. He ain't going to be cutting an extra 20 pounds. Losses in Nickel, Barallo, Allen, not good. But man, he can catch anybody at any time, and I could just worry about right cross to hammer fist. Like, just a lot of ways left cross. So I could see he's a punching bag. He has terrible head movement, doesn't really move off the line. It could be a one-hit KO. I like Bellato by KO 1 and 2 early might be something to sprinkle on, and then Craig 3 submission round 3. But the big price tag scares me. The Jimmy Crute fade scares me, but I don't have much belief in Paul Craig either. 4-5 in the UFC, just got a lot of respect though, and he's gonna. It's like one of those things where like guys can put away way worse fighters, but as soon as they fight more complete fighters, they have holes in their game, right? And Paul Craig definitely is not the best striker. The Barallo fight, I thought he had a fighting chance, and boy, my guy he had no chance. So I kind of see something like that, but is Bellato as active middleweight, versus light heavyweight now? Is he going to be able to take the punch versus cutting? Like, that's interesting. Let's go Bellato here. Bang! To the main event of the evening, saving the card, we got Gilbert Torino Burns, 22-8, coming off a loss versus Michael Morales, 17-0. Massive favorite, minus 800, minus 700. He's just going off. He was minus like 500 to start the week. I love Gilbert Burns here. I just can't pick him. I just got to pick Morales and pray Gilbert Burns wins. I don't even think I'll put a little scratch on Gilbert Burns. I just, if he wins, I'll be a fan. I'll be a happy fan, but everything should point to Morales. Morales probably just gets him in a bad spot. Morales 2, Morales 3. I think Burns can hang for a while, but at some point I think he just starts to get pieced up, and Morales is strong, he's big. I don't get why he's a massive favorite. He hasn't really been tested on his takedowns like Gilbert Burns will take him down, but Gilbert's pushing 38, 39. Is he really going to be able to outstyle a 25-year-old Michael Morales? And it could be the case where it is an outstyling on the mat. Gilbert Burns is world-class jiu-jitsu, world-class takedown, arguably some of the most epic fights, is not afraid to go in there against absolutely anybody. Welterweight champs, middleweight champs. Gilbert Burns might have one of the best, toughed out of Sean Brady, lost to JDM when we was winning him, hurt against Bilal, Masvidal, Magny, Chimaev. He beat Chimaev, dude. I'll go to my grave knowing Gilbert Burns beat Hamzat Chimaev again. Just let the judges give wins to other fighters. Boy, B. Thompson went against Kamaru Usman, Tyrone Woodley, Damian Maia. Bro, my guy's been in against everybody before Morales was even fully, of age. I don't want to see my guy Gilbert Burns lose a bad one here. I'm really worried, dude. It's like Morales is the truth, though. I think we all feel like he is, and I'm very scared for Gilbert Burns here. I don't know, man. I'm going to pick Morales for the official picks, and I'm going to just want to cry a little bit on the inside when I'm watching the fight because I love Gilbert so much, and I think he's got a chance to win, but I don't want to be puffing smoke where I don't think there's smoke to be puffed. But, I think Morales, and he could probably get it done in the second or third round. Yeah, I think Gilbert Burns is one of those guys. He's on your path to a title. You fight Gilbert Burns, gold is in your future. That's how good he is. He's a litmus test, and he goes up against the best guys. And I think Michael Morales will have gold in his future 5 years from now. he might be one of the best welterweights we've seen if he gets a run and and keeps improving. And this is one of the tests. If he doesn't, then he could go down. The O's be going down, but not right here, not right now. I mean, I think Morales here. As much as I love Gilbert, he's ballooning plus 550. I just think the age is a factor, the durability is a factor. Just but again, there's no arguing his resume and who he fought against, and he'll be prepared and he'll be in shape, and he'll give Morales the toughest test he has gotten so far in his UFC career. And that's not a that, and I think it's worth. I just worry about him getting finished in a way. I just worry about him getting in a bad spot and getting a little tired. And Morales just stud, dude. Just burns his resume. He goes against everybody. That's great, man. And the greatest thing about Gilbert Burns. And we'll watch one more war with Gilbert here against Morales, and hopefully we'll see the best of the best. Let's go a little recap here. Feeling good about the week. Let's go, baby. Tisha Pennington, Carlos Hernandez, Denise Gomes, Tariana Liz Boa, Jared Gordon, Mateus Camilo. We got Diwali, Costa, Ruzaboyev, Youssef Balato, and Morales. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave your picks in the comments. Monster Rebound Week. Let's go, baby. Thank you so much for watching and supporting. Appreciate everybody. Take care of yourselves, your family, and your friends. Peace and love.